You know when you buy a new car and you got that the, honeymoon period where your car is the greatest thing in the world. You've just made an incredible investment. And psychologically, we know that when you spend big bucks, you've made a psychological investment, and damn it, you'll defend it. That's not a good place, a starting place to find objective information about motives and behavior. So if you're talking to someone who's just gung-ho, yes, I absolutely love your stuff, that may be flattering, but it's not helpful. So what I recommend then is what Fraser Crane, Dr. Crane would say, I'm listening. And what kinds of ways can we listen more acutely to buyers in lieu of research? Again, research is the gold standard, but I'm talking about the realities where you may not have the greatest access to it. So the first thing I would say, active listening. When you're on social media, I'm not talking about just the comments that people leave on your blogs or your tweets that you put out from your company. I'm talking about visiting the forums and places where your potential customers and buyers go, and listening in and checking out their comments and looking at which things seem most popular, which topics are of the greatest interest. That's great, valuable information to you when you see what's hot and what's not. So social media is something definitely worth reviewing to get a sense of what are people responding to, what things suggest what their real interests are. Another thing you can do is, can you find people to have an interview with? Again, not customers, but buyers in that category. Now, I know that depending on the context, that can be tricky, but it may not be impossible. You may know people through professional associations, just through collegial, whatever. But if you can have that conversation, be non-judgmental and be open. And again, starting with that one question, hey man, when you were shopping for such and such, what was going on? And listen carefully, not just to the substance of what they're saying, but listen for the emotions. Listen for laughter too, if they're so like dismissive or sarcastic. Get those clues to what's going on in their heads behind that purchasing decision. Finally, as a kind of practical way of getting information, and I know this isn't very helpful right now in 2020 in the midst of the coronavirus, but when we once again gather in conferences, don't be so distracted by the need to get leads and make sales to neglect your opportunity to gather important information. I certainly do this when I attend conferences, and it's one of my key objectives. There's only so much I'm going to learn by going to sessions. But afterwards, the after hours where you have drinking and networking, yeah, I want to talk to people, and I want to have casual conversations where they feel relaxed, I feel relaxed, and I can get some sense. Hey man, have you ever looked for a CRM? How'd that go? Did you look at, and you get to a conversation. Use those conferences as an opportunity to listen deeply to what people have to say about their shopping experience in the category in which your product or service lives.